Okay, folks, I'm going to go through a few steps on how I create an episode of SHERPA CAST 10.1. First of all, I'm going to open up my Logic Pro, start a new file from a template, which I already have. Here's SHERPA CAST, choose, and I've already got my tracks laid out here. Here's my track. We're going to go ahead and activate that. Ah, there we are. Nice. Now I can really hear myself. And over here in the inspector area, you can see I've got my EQ set up for, I use this EQ setting for voiceover work as well. It makes me sound exquisite. And then I've got a little gain I've got set up for this. It's set at 9.2 because I really need that gain. You know, my voice in real life is pretty mousy. Then I've got a noise gate set up so it eliminates a lot of background and sibilance and lots of chicka chicka. And you'll hear it kind of clicking on and off sometimes too when I'm talking. But it still sounds pretty good. You set yours accordingly. And I've got it set at mono because I've only got one mic cable going in. And it's coming out as stereo, so it's mono coming out your left and right. Next, let's go ahead and shut those. You can do this in GarageBand too. No sweat. Or any DAW where you can at least just get 3 tracks going. For my background, I've got glass sky because it sounds cool. It sounds like this. But that's a little loud, so I'm going to turn that down to about minus 25-ish. That's fine. And then I've got a track for content. And that's, of course, songs and stingers and things like that. And we are going to go ahead and insert one of those now. I just call it the old SHERPA CAST in out. Just drag it on in.
SHERPA CAST.
Okay, so there's that. Then once that's done playing, I zip over to the end, activate my DJ track, which is me, and give a little welcome. Welcome, Shapals, to episode 19 of SHERPA CAST 10.1. Then I go down, whenever I have a audio there of myself, I go down to the glass sky, give myself a little head start there, hit R for record, and then I hit random keys on the keyboard. Welcome, Shapals, to episode 19 of SHERPA CAST 10.1. Okay, so now I get that cool kind of weird background for my vocals. And then I introduce a song, or not. Usually I just say this. Let me activate the track. All right, let's get ready for another notorious double set. Okay, whoops, didn't mean to move that over. Let's go ahead and cover that with some more glass sky. All right, let's get ready for another notorious double set. Okay, and then a handy spot to grab some music from. Choo. Hey, good old iTunes. Let's throw some Alex Ball in there. So here we go. Well, let's start. Notorious double set. And then, now that I already know what that is, I'll go ahead and solo my audio so it's just right here where I can see everything. And I'll say, starting off that first notorious double set was Alex Ball with his hit single, Carpentry. Should probably record next time I do that. Got to be in the right track. Make sure you have the right track selected. Starting off that notorious double set was Alex Ball with his hit single, Carpentry. And then, let's squash that down. Move it to the end. Bring it back up. And do some Glass Sky. Starting off that notorious double set was Alex Ball with his hit single, Carpentry. So I had it soloed so you couldn't hear it. Let's try it again. Starting off that notorious double set was Alex Ball with his hit single, Carpentry. Let's see how cool that sounds. And so I continue on. What I like to do is... See, I got my time meter. I try to do an hour-long show, so this way I keep track of how much time I've used up. And then, let's say this is the end. This is an hour. Bounce it or share it, depending on which program you're in. Down here, I've already got it set at MP3, 16 bits, because I'm going to upload this thing, and an hour of it is a pretty huge file, so normalize it on normalizing. That's what I use instead of a compressor. That way it will jack up the highest, the loudest part of my file. It will bump it up to 0 dB and everything else with it. Usually I don't go over 0 dB when I'm recording anyway. If I do, I use the compressor, and that's a whole nother chapter. But that's basically it. That's how an episode of SHERPA Cast 101.1 goes down.